Hello, dear viewers of the Love and Tears channel. Thank you for coming back to listen to a story full of emotions, many secrets, and no less dramatic. Today I will tell you a story that seems peaceful, but opens a journey full of conflicts, temptations, and changes your life forever. If you are watching, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your feelings after listening, because this story will definitely make you think. That night, the cool evening air seemed to gently touch my skin. I sat alone in the backyard, quietly letting my soul follow my confused thoughts. The sound of water in the jacuzzi gently echoed, creating an unusually peaceful background sound. The house, which was always noisy with the parties that Lisa, my stepmother, often organized, suddenly became quiet. I held in my hand a glass of wine that I had secretly taken from the fridge, enjoying a rare moment of quiet. I'm Jake, 22, a recent college graduate, still living with my family while I try to figure out my future. Being at home has its drawbacks, but sometimes it also brings moments of quiet, like tonight. Or at least I thought so. The sound of the sliding door opening broke my train of thought. Lisa appeared, followed by two of her close friends. Their laughter and sparkling eyes from the alcohol made the already peaceful atmosphere suddenly become bustling. "Jake, why are you sitting here alone?" Lisa asked, her voice still holding the familiar, mischievous tone. I was a little confused, not knowing how to answer. I hadn't expected them to appear, especially at this hour. The three of them approached wearing thin robes. I caught a glimpse of swimsuits underneath. They must be planning to soak in the hot tub. One of my friends, Megan, smiled teasingly. "Why don't you come in too?" I hesitated. Lisa quickly took the glass of wine from my hand, her eyes flashing with something both mischievous and unpredictable. "Come on, don't be shy. The water is warm, perfect for relaxing." I hesitated for a moment, my heart beating fast for no reason. But then, under their gazes, I nodded and walked to the jacuzzi. The sound of water splashing soft laughter rang out. When I sat down, the warm water enveloped my body, dispelling the tension I never realized I carried. But the feeling of comfort was quickly replaced by something else. Confusion. Lisa sat right next to me. Her shoulder lightly touched mine, her hand sometimes placed on my arm as if it were an accidental gesture. But why did it feel so long? I tried to stay calm, but inside I was in turmoil. Megan and Sarah, the other friend, didn't say much, but the way they looked at me held something. A challenge or complicity, I couldn't be sure. The laughter, the chatter, the sound of the water lapping, all blended together to create an atmosphere that was both joyful and tense, hard to describe. Then Lisa leaned over and whispered in my ear, "You look stressed. Why don't we help you feel more comfortable?" Those words made me shiver slightly. I turned to look, only to see Megan and Sarah also moving closer. Their eyes met as if sharing a secret that I, an outsider, had not yet fully understood. Everything that happened after that happened like a fog. Wine, hot water, half-hidden smiles, gestures that went beyond normal limits. I no longer knew what was teasing, what was really hidden. One thing was certain: I had entered a dangerous land where all boundaries were fragile. That night ended in silence. They left, leaving me sitting alone in the warm water that had gradually cooled. I looked up at the starry sky, my heart still pounding. I knew clearly that from this moment on, everything in this house would never be the same again. The next morning, I woke up with mixed feelings: regret, curiosity, and fear. Everything from last night was vague but too real to deny. A note from Lisa was left on the kitchen table: going to breakfast with friends. We'll be back later. I breathed a sigh of relief, but I also knew I couldn't avoid it forever. When Lisa returned, there was a heavy silence between us. She smiled, trying to keep her composure, but her eyes contained something I didn't dare name. Finally, Lisa said, "About last night, I hope you don't mind. It was just unexpected. We talked." She said it was just a whim, that Megan and Sarah would keep it a secret, that it could be pretended it never happened. But could I pretend it never happened? In the days that followed, on the surface, everything returned to normal. But inside, I was overcome with an undercurrent. Lisa's gaze, the vague memories from that night, the sense that the boundaries had been erased. All of it scared me and fascinated me. I knew I was embarking on a journey that would perhaps change my life. Dear viewers, what do you think Jake should do in this situation? Should he consider it a mistake and bury it in the past, or will he be drawn deeper into this dangerous relationship? Leave your opinion in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to the Love and Tears channel to follow the next stories. A week after that fateful night, Lisa and I hardly spoke again. During the day, everything went on as usual. She took care of the housework, called friends. I went to work, looked for a job. But in the evening, in every passing glance, in every moment when we were accidentally alone, there was a heavy silence, a secret hanging over our heads. One evening, as I sat in my office with my laptop, the door knocked softly. Lisa entered, wearing a thin robe. The air became thick. She sat on the edge of the bed, her eyes looking at me, full of hesitation, but also something like determination. "Jake," she said softly about that day. I thought a lot about it. I paused, my heart pounding. I can't deny one thing: it changed everything. Between us, it's not the same anymore. I was silent because I didn't know how to answer. 1,000 questions ran through my mind. Was this just a whim, or the beginning of something bigger? Lisa sighed, her hand gently resting on her knee. "You may hate me. You may want to forget everything. But I can't. Every time I see you, I remember that night. And it makes me both scared and..." She hesitated. Longing. Those words were like a knife stabbing into my heart. I knew from that moment on there was no turning back. In the following days, we gradually entered a new rhythm. During the day, Lisa was still an exemplary stepmother. But at night, when the lights in the house gradually dimmed, secret conversations appeared between us, seemingly unintentional touches and glances that lasted too long to be considered normal. And then one evening, Lisa suddenly said something that made me shudder. "Megan and Sarah asked about you. They were curious if you remembered that night." I was stunned. Memories rushed back. The half-open smiles, the wordless glances, and the feeling of being surrounded by a secret that no one but us knew. Lisa looked at me, her eyes questioning, What do you think? If they show up again one day, I didn't know how to answer. Inside me, curiosity and anxiety were intertwined. Was I being drawn into a game I couldn't control? Or was this the path to an even scarier truth? That night, I tossed and turned. One thing I realized, this relationship had long been beyond my reach. And at any moment, it could explode, dragging us all down into the abyss. Dear friends, how do you think Jake should deal with Lisa's hidden hint? Should he cut it off to be safe, or continue to delve deeper into this dangerous relationship? Leave your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Love and Tears to watch Part 3, where secrets will become harder to hide. One afternoon, when I returned home from my overtime, a familiar laugh rang out from the living room. I stopped right at the steps. That sound, I couldn't mistake it. It was Megan's laughter. And then, faintly, Sarah's voice. I walked in, and my heart immediately pounded when I saw them sitting with Lisa, a glass of wine in hand, a mysterious smile on their lips. The room was lit. The space looked normal at first, but to me, everything seemed covered in a hazy layer of memory. Jake, Lisa said, her voice soft but carrying an indescribable weight. "You're home. Sit down." Megan tilted her head, her eyes mischievous. "Do you remember us? Or have you forgotten that night?" My heart suddenly tightened. I tried to keep calm, but the hands in my pockets tightened. Why did they come back? What did they want? Sarah put down her wine glass and leaned forward. "Actually, we didn't come here just to see Lisa. We wanted to talk to you, Jake." That night, it wasn't just a game for us. I was stunned. Those words were like a spark that lit a pile of ashes that hadn't cooled yet. I looked at Lisa, hoping she would speak, but her eyes held a strange silence, as if she had known this was coming. Megan chuckled. "Don't worry. We don't mean to make things difficult for you. It's just, once a secret is made, it's no longer yours. And the secret, Jake, can't be kept forever." In that moment, I suddenly realized the danger wasn't what we did, but who knew, and who could use it to control others. That night, after the guests had left, I faced Lisa. I asked directly, why did they come back? Do they want money? Or do they want more? Lisa was silent for a long time, then said softly, "Maybe both. And Jake, you have to prepare yourself. Once you enter this game, there is no way back." I stood still. A vague fear arose in my heart. I understood that from the moment Megan and Sarah returned, my life would no longer be peaceful. And all of us, me, Lisa, and the other two friends, were tied by an invisible string, a string called secret. Dear viewers, in your opinion, what do you think Megan and Sarah really came back for? Do they want to continue that dangerous game, or are they hiding a bigger plan? Leave your thoughts in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to the Love and Tears channel to watch Part 4, where secrets begin to turn into real conspiracies. I couldn't sleep. The image of Megan and Sarah returning their knowing smiles haunted me all night. The next morning, Lisa was already sitting in the kitchen. Her face tired, her eyes dark, as if she hadn't slept all night. "Jake," she said slowly, "we can't be naive enough to believe they're just coming to visit. They want to use this secret to tie us down. And when someone has control, they won't let go easily. Her words sent a chill down my spine. I asked again, "So what should we do?" "Be silent and accept it." Lisa shook her head, her eyes sharp. "No. We have to know what they really want. Only by looking straight at the danger can we find a way out." That afternoon, I received an anonymous text message. A photo appeared on the phone screen. It was me and Lisa in the dark, night before. Below the photo was a short line, "If you don't want everything to be exposed, listen to me." I trembled. Who took that photo, Meg and Sarah? Or was there someone else behind them? When I showed the phone to Lisa, she was silent for a long time, then only said one sentence, "Jake. From now on, we are no longer bound by a secret. We have been dragged into a conspiracy." That evening, Megan and Sarah came again. But unlike last time, the cheerfulness was gone. Instead, there was an atmosphere of calculation. Megan placed a thick envelope on the table, then gently pushed it towards Lisa. "We don't need the money right now," she said, her voice sweet but dangerous. "But from now on, Jake and you will do as we ask. If not, everyone around will know." I clenched my fists. My heart felt like it was about to explode. This was no longer a game. This was control, a trap with no way out. And I knew that if we gave in once, we would be led around forever. That night, after everything had calmed down, Lisa looked straight into my eyes. There was not only fear in her gaze, but also a strange determination. "Jake," she whispered, "we can't let them control us. If we want to escape this siege, there's only one way: to strike first." I was stunned. Strike first. What did that mean? And would we have the strength to fight back against Megan and Sarah, or whatever force was behind them? Love and tears. Viewers, do you think Jake and Lisa should risk fighting back? Or should they accept living under Megan and Sarah's control? Share your thoughts in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to wait for part 5, where the truth begins to unfold and the game will no longer be a game. Lisa sat in silence for a long time after saying, "We must attack first." The look she gave me, no longer the look of a stepmother, nor the look of a weak woman. It was the look of someone willing to give up everything to regain freedom. I understood we had gone too far to turn back. But because of that, there was only one choice left: to face it. The next day, I made an appointment to meet Megan and Sarah alone. My heart was pounding in my chest, but this time I was no longer just a young boy, caught up in the game. I went with the determination: either escape the siege or sink together. In that meeting, I frankly said, "I know you want to control us with that secret. But don't forget, if everything is exposed, you will no longer be innocent. We are in the same boat. And if the boat sinks, no one can escape." The room fell into silence. Megan raised her eyebrows. Sarah's face changed slightly. For the first time, I saw them retreat instead of advance. Lisa, sitting next to me, gently took my hand. She whispered, "Good, Jake. You know how to face it." From that day on, things gradually calmed down. Megan and Sarah no longer appeared frequently. The anonymous messages disappeared. and the threats stopped. The secret, instead of being a rope, now hung like a knife, forcing us all to live cautiously, but enough to keep everyone quiet. On the last night, sitting on the porch, Lisa said softly, "Jake, we will probably carry this secret with us for the rest of our lives. It will always be a shadow, but it also teaches us that sometimes the truth doesn't have to be exposed. Just learn to live with it." I looked up at the starry sky, feeling both relieved and heavy. I know the story doesn't have a happy ending, but at least we found a way to live on, even with a secret that was never told. Dear friends, so Jake and Lisa's story has ended here. A secret? A game? A conspiracy? All are just sad memories, hard to erase traces in memory. What do you think? Did they really escape that vortex? Or is it just a temporary peace before another storm? Leave your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe to the Love and Tears channel to watch other stories where love, tears, and secrets always go together.